Hello, this is William Wilder, the attorney in the United States, assisting SNA in the ongoing Azul bankruptcy. The union asked me to provide a quick update on the status of the case as there have been developments this month with the bankruptcy court's approval of Azul's plan of reorganization so that it can be submitted to creditors for a vote. Under the U.S. process, a debtor has to develop a plan of reorganization that meets certain legal requirements. It then presents it to, for example, the creditors committee and the U.S. trustee and the court. The court then reviews that proposed plan and the explanation associated with it, called a disclosure statement, to ensure it complies with the law. In this instance, the creditors committee ultimately agreed with Azul on how the plan should be structured, and the court earlier this month approved the plan to be submitted to creditors. The structure of the plan is that Azul can raise up to $950 million in new financing through an offering of new equity. It has entered this plan with various investment parties, including the current debtor in possession, investors and lenders, certain note holders that had pre-petition notes, as well as two strategic partnerships, one with American Airlines and one with United Airlines. So the intent of the plan is to raise up to $950 million to support Azul's exit from bankruptcy. A minimum of $650 million will be raised because various of the investment parties with whom Azul has negotiated the plan have agreed to purchase a minimum of that new equity. Further, American and United will each invest up to $100 million, a minimum of $200 million, and take a total of 17% of the equity in the reorganized Azul, as well as entering into their new partnership agreements with Azul. United has an existing one, which will be restructured. American has not previously entered a partnership with Azul and will enter a new agreement. Those are expected to expand Azul's access to connecting passengers from both of those airlines. Those two agreements will have to be submitted for antitrust review by the Brazilian government, a process that has already started as to the United agreement and will soon start as to the American agreement. In terms of the unsecured creditors, the creditors committee reached a settlement with Azul for the amount of money in recovery unsecured creditors will receive under the plan. So it has recommended that unsecured creditors vote in favor of the plan. As to certain class of creditors, such as SNA, they under the plan, for example, all of those engaged in Brazilian litigation, are treated under the plan where their claims will simply continue in the ordinary course as if the bankruptcy hadn't occurred. So they are considered under the plan to be unimpaired. Their rights aren't affected, and so they are deemed to support the plan. So the voting process will occur over the next several weeks, culminating in a ballot submission deadline date of December 2. And then December 11, there's a confirmation hearing before the bankruptcy judge in which the judge will review the results of voting and ensure that under the requirements of U.S. law, 2/3 of the creditor classes have voted in favor. And within those classes, 70% of creditors have voted yes. And so the result of that voting will be submitted to the court. If the voters approve, and given that the bankruptcy court has already approved the requirements of the plan, it's anticipated there will be an order confirming the plan. Once that order confirming the plan is issued, then Azul can execute on its plan to exit from bankruptcy, which is currently anticipated to occur in February of 2026 once antitrust review is completed. So at this point, we're awaiting the results of the creditor voting. As I mentioned, SNA and other Brazilian creditors won't be voting because their claims will continue in the ordinary course. And then on December 11, we will see the results of the court's review of the plan and whether it issues an order of confirmation, which is anticipated. So after those two developments occur, we'll provide another update on the status of the case. Thanks very much.